Welcome back, day 14. We open on Johnny's lawyers cross-examining the defence's version of Dr. Curry. She's like, yeah, I left some sections blank on Amber's PTSD assessment form, but don't worry about it. No big deal. I kind of think Johnny's lawyers make her testimony seem well-rounded now. They didn't go insanely aggressive. Just let her talk and think about her credibility in your own time. Okay, second half of the day, Amber's up.
I do.
Actually, before I get stuck into it, I realise in parts 1 to 3 I forgot to introduce the character of Judy. She's my brother-in-law's favourite character. She sits at a desk near Penny, and I believe she is day trading crypto. Yeah, make no mistake, Judy is the wealthiest dickhead in the room. She got into Bitcoin in like 2011. Objection speculation. Her and Penny are always having a laugh together.
Sorry, Judy. It's been that kind of day.
Classic courtroom humour. Amber is like, I've been in loads of movies. Zombieland, that's a cool movie. Sincerely it is. I was in Pineapple Express with Franco, James Franco. If any of you know who James is, you know, yeah. No, don't worry about him right now. Actually, did you know he cut his own arm off in the movie 127 Hours? I don't know. I like mutilated men. Okay, whoa, but seriously, I'll stop being a distasteful fucking wanker. She talks about meeting Johnny, falling in love with him. I reckon that checks out, yeah.
Johnny called me himself on my cell phone. You got it good.
He's even better than I could have imagined him to be, which is saying something.
She then says he drinks lots of tea. There's a real emphasis on tea for some reason. Oh, this is Johnny's second day in a row of having infinite boogies. He showed lots of affection. He bought me lots of cool stuff. He bought my dad a horse. And then one night in late 2012, I asked about Winona Ryder. And game over. Alrighty, serious voice again. From this point on till the end of the day, it is intense. I'll cover it in my review section in the second half of this video. Okay, day 15, or one of the days before. I don't know, the usual spectacle. He's given a briefcase. What the fuck is in the briefcase? Someone's internet research on Amber, probably. Day 15 is actually ruthless. Johnny's lawyer, Camille, at the back, has a zero tolerance hearsay and speculation policy.
He would not remember what he had done.
Calls for speculation.
How can that call for speculation?
I'll sustain the objection. And if
Calls for speculation.
She can say why she did it and what she thought.
but that last part called for speculation. I'll sustain the
Don't
objection.
say I knew.
Objection non-responsive.
I don't think it's non-responsive. She's explaining.
Both kind of under their breath asked me, "Are you okay?"
Objection hearsay.
I spent the rest of the time looking out of the window. Sustain the objection. Explaining or
Objection non-responsive.
She's telling the story, Your Honor.
She's telling the story. Wow, not the best wording from her lawyer.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
I'll sustain the objection. Hotel staff had been sent up to the room because John...
Objection calls for hearsay and speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
Objection hearsay.
Okay. I'll sustain the objection. Okay. And they wouldn't put him under because of all the coke. So.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain as the last part.
Okay.
All right. Say, what am I going to do?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Sorry. All right, I'll sustain.
I don't know. That wasn't offered to prove the truth of the matter.
I'll sustain.
In any event. All right.
Sustain the objection.
Okay, so
Mum's friend, you gotta stop arguing with Penny. You're not the judge, mate.
My friend saying, "Oh my God, oh my God."
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Sustain.
okay.
Sustain the
It's
objection.
not offered to prove the truth of the matter, but
sustain.
because she didn't have an accident. But,
Your Honor.
All right.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is a shit show again from Amber's lawyers, I reckon. You know what? By this stage, I feel like my video requires the review section more than my comical recap section. So let's get to the proper critical analysis right now, you legends. I'm a bit drained. I'm tired, guys. Like, that's one feeling I know I can instantly tap into and articulate after watching hours of Amber tell her side of the story. I don't know. In a roundabout way, like I said in part 1, the easiest viewpoint is to go, well, they're both fucked. They brought out the worst in each other. Super duper toxic combination of personalities. Move it along. I am well aware of how that can sound like a cop-out, though. You want me to roast Amber? You want me to roast Amber. I get it. especially if Johnny Fairdincum lost a finger from Amber throwing vodka bottles. That's not something you downplay and let someone off the hook for and be neutral about it. It's horrendous. You can't say, oh, well, they were both bad, if that's the God-honest truth of what happened. I'm just saying you could spend 10 minutes on this topic and go, oh, they both bloody got stuck into each other verbally, emotionally, physically. Or you could spend 100 hours on this topic, as I'm finding out, and still go, they both bloody got stuck into each other. Having conviction on choosing a side is greatly tempting day after day because it's quiet fun. There's a fun to be had in bandwagoning and saying 100% of what Amber tells us is lies and she's a terrible actress. It's fun. It's a fun and enticing fucking bandwagon. It's a Rolls Royce of a bandwagon, especially if you're projecting your own traumatic previous relationships onto this relationship, which is all part of the game here too, isn't it? That's why it's so viewed by so much of the world. Anyway, that's getting a bit weird, parasocial relationships, things like that. But what I'm saying is, as fun as it can be to bandwagon, and you want to roast Amber, it is important not to glorify Johnny still, is all I'm saying. A couple of audio recordings with him not disputing violence have been left pretty open-ended. I keep thinking about those every couple of days. No one really addressed them that thoroughly.
I fucked up and cried in my bedroom after I had dumped you a fucking week prior. A fucking week prior after you beat the shit out of me. And then a week later you show up at my doorstep in my room saying you want to say goodbye. Well, yes you do, because you wouldn't have used that as a way to hit me. I was pouring my heart out to you. What do you do?
I agree, it can definitely feel like there's simply only hearsay and speculation evidence against him, however. Look, he's a charming motherfucker and it's so engaging watching him for hours. It truly is. I'm happy to have some space coming up for the next week, though. I'm a bit happy about that. Proceed with caution is a good idea overall, is my viewpoint there. I get the Amber bad vibes. Don't get me wrong, I get them. My spidey senses tingle when listening to her, okay? It's been like that for years. There's so much of this case that's not new. It's presented in a new format, is all. The 2016 depositions from each of them have been around and fascinating to watch for a long time. The audio recordings on the incredibly average YouTube channel have been out for years. For a long time, there's been an unsettling collective human instinct that you get when watching Amber be so intense, yet you somehow feel disconnected from her emotion. I'd say that's the feeling that triggers a lot of us to go, wow, she is putting on a show, you know, like that's the feeling, I think. Look, it's a good thing the end result will not be up to the court of public opinion, because, guys, in the last 24 hours, there's been some shady as fuck things going round. Amber was not quoting the talented Mr. Ripley. Simmer down. I've edited hours of this footage. There's no timestamp for that. She's not posing for a photo opportunity here. It's fun to think that that's what's happening, but Mum's friend lawyer is publishing evidence. The computer monitors flicker before turning on. Johnny's face lights up to everyone. Simmer down a bit. There's not a camera set up like they're shooting fucking bullet time in the Matrix, alright? It's like what happens in the political arena. Misinformation is, unfortunately, creeping into this event. So fucking be safe with your browsing habits out there, everyone. Those memes are not fair. Strike them from the record. It is fair to say her testimony feels cliche and scripted, you know, in our opinion. I find it interesting. She's making the time to point out minuscule, seemingly mundane details, like she remembers dirty carpet. There's an emphasis on that in that first instance where she was hit. She remembers her breath on a car window. She pays attention to a light when cavity searched in a trailer, and a few other things.
I saw a bird in the house. I thought that was surreal. I just remember the lights of the ATV coming up.
This to me feels like someone mimicking what they've heard other people do when they're traumatized, remembering insignificant details. So yeah, she's presenting that, and there's something that got my spidey senses going with that. Like with her lawyers, there's a bunch of things that just feel so scripted. The evidence is there, and they've worked backwards from that to get the story to fit, you know? It can feel like that. When she talks about the first time she was hit, it was over that Winona Ryder tattoo, yeah? I think so. That's felt a bit odd because people have asked Johnny about that tattoo for years and it's never something he's seemed hostile about.
But even though we're not together anymore, it doesn't take away the honesty of the moment of when I got the tattoo, and it doesn't...
So, I mean, you don't look in the mirror and feel any regrets about having got it in the light of your current situation?
Not. I don't regret the tattoo at all. In fact, I mean, it's a part of my past, you know, it's part of my history, and I would definitely keep it. I mean, I could add things to it. I could subtract. I could make it wino forever.
But yeah, look, for me to go through every detail with you like this based on her testimony will go for just hours, and I've got a life too, you legends. I gotta get home right now. I've got a child and shit. What she says up against what multiple witnesses say is very interesting to reflect on. I'll put some links in the post description below to resources that are helpful. I am wondering if Johnny's lawyers will bring up all the stuff people on the internet have talked about for years. Her lawyers addressed one of them. Bloody Mum's Friend addressed one. The James Cordan show, which, you know, she was a guest on the day after horrific abuse supposedly took place. Photos in Tokyo of the backless dress after her back supposedly sustained injuries. The Met Gala after physical abuse, with Rolling Stones crew after physical abuse. What she says being able to hold up against all of these tangible pieces of evidence is going to be the key for the jury. That's going to be the key for them to think about. Anyway, I'm happy to have a week off from this. I am a bit. I might just keep it to a part 5 and 6 later in the month when it gets back into action in the court. I don't know, I'm thinking about it because you do start to feel a little mentally nuts yourself going into this shit show too much. So look, cheers everyone, and Destination Fucked commentary coming up next. That's what I'm going to do. All right, good night. I'm fucking off home. Good night. Oh, wait, nah, bloody shameless plug for legal t-shirts now that we're all lawyers. Objection, bloody objection, hearsay, speculation, to my own question. AussieManShop.com/objection. Good night.